Welcome to this video. Today I'll be demonstrating a free outbound sales and prospecting tool, which can be used for managing your communications with potential customers and existing customers. The tool is available to download for free from excel-macros.co.uk. The link is below. So I've opened up the tool and clicked the button now to enable macros. This is necessary as the tool does use macros for some of its functions. Okay, so now I'm in the import customer data screen. This is necessary so that we can get some customers into the system. You can enter this data manually or export it from other systems. You could buy a list from somewhere if you wanted. The key really is just to make sure that we get the data into the format required for this import sheet. So we need a company name, phone number, an address, classification, email, and website. You don't need to provide all of those details, but obviously the more data that you have, the more rich the data that you can then use for your marketing activities. So this is just test data that I've downloaded from a kind of data mock-up website, but it will serve the purpose of this demonstration. So I'm going to click the import button here, and that will then import that data into the spreadsheet. Okay, so that has imported 362 companies and 1,000 locations. The reason it's imported less companies is because if you look down at the data in here, we've got some companies that have multiple locations, so that's to be expected. Okay, I'll click OK. I'll just demonstrate if you import it again. If you import the same data twice, then it won't allow you to. This is to stop us getting duplicate data into our data source, so that's helpful. Okay, so now we've got our data. If you want to go into the company names sheet, you'll see a number of companies. If you go into the location sheet, you'll see a load of locations. If you go into the activity sheet, you'll see no activities because we've not performed any activities yet. So let's do that next. So if we go into the summary sheet, we will see the main sheet that we will be working with to perform our outbound sales and prospecting process. So we've not got a company selected at the moment. We can select one in a number of ways. Normally the easiest way is to click this choose company button on the right hand side. And then we can type into the search. So I'm going to search for a company that starts with a PA. No, there's no companies that start PA. So let's start FR. FA. Okay, Fanoodle, that looks good, doesn't it? So let's click on that one, select that. Right, and then I'm going to make a sales call. So let's pretend I've made a sales call and I spoke to someone called Dave Smith. And Dave Smith was interested, wants a demo. Okay, so he was interested in the product and he wants a demo. So I'm going to demo product. I'm going to demo the product as my next step, and I'm going to demo the product in a week. So I can just type into these fields. I can type in a date here if I want. The easier way is actually to click this link on the right hand side where I've set up some predefined options. So I've created a run demo option, so I can just click that choose button there, and then the same with the dates. If I go options here, I can select a date. Let's say I'm going to run a demo in a week's time. Okay, so that will just give me a date in there, and then once I've done that, I can click submit, and that's saved that activity. So I've got a record of the fact that I've called him, he was interested in the product, and my next step is to run a demo, and I'll be running that demo in a week's time from today. Okay, so I can now do my next activity. So I can use this handy button on the right hand side to get next activity, and that just pulls up the next customer that I want to contact. Now, if I had some activities that had a next step date that was today or earlier, then it would pull up those activities. But because I don't, then it's just pulled up the first company with no activities, and this is Abata, so it's gone in alphabetical order. Let me do another call to them. Spoke to Joan, wrong person, call back and ask for Peter. Okay, and I'm going to do that tomorrow. So I'm going to call back and I'm going to put tomorrow in there. Okay, and submit. Right, So I'll get my next activity. Now, again, it's just going through alphabetically. So I'm not going to do any more calls, but what I'll just show you as an example is I'm going to go into my activities sheet and I'm going to change the date of this demo to, let's just say I wanted to do it yesterday. Then if I come back into my summary sheet and get next activity, then that will pop up. So this will really drive your activities to make sure that you are doing the activities that you've said that you'll be doing. If you've said you're going to call someone on a certain date, this tool will help you to do that. If then I was to call back and they said, no, absolutely not, I'm not buying this, I'm not interested, don't contact me again, you can click this button here, which says don't contact again. All it's doing is just pre-populating the fact that you had that contact and that they didn't want to be contacted again. And so that's given us a next step date in, I think that's about 900 years time. So fingers crossed you won't be using this tool in 900 years time. So this company, Fanoodle, I don't know about their locations. They've obviously got one location in here. If I go into show locations, it's actually showing me 4 locations. Now, it may well be that on the call they say, oh no, you've called the wrong number, you need to call our head office. And maybe the head office is one of these other locations. If you find out a primary location, then you can put a 1 in this column C. And that will just mean that this location is then popping up on your summary sheet. This is 2 Harvey Point. Previously, it was this training center. If I then go back to the summary sheet, you can see that the 2 Harvey Point is now getting pulled up. That's about it in terms of how the system works. I did just mention the options sheet. So if you do come into the options sheet and you want to change some of the options, you can absolutely do that. You can just change the text in here, in which case that will pull through. You can also, if you want to add a new one, so let me just add in a new option. Now the way you add in a new one is you type into that column there, and then you just type the word choose. And sorry, I pressed enter before I was ready to. That's become a link now. Okay, so the key really is that you need the word choose written in red text in here, and as soon as you've got the text being read, then it will see it as an available option. And if I come into the summary sheet and I say I want my option in here and I click choose, then it will use that new option. Likewise, I changed visit to site visit. If I now say choose there, it will pull that through. So all these options are very configurable to your requirements. And you've got complete control over the data. The worksheet is not locked. If you want to get the data out so that you can play around with it in other applications, you can do that. You can obviously edit the activities as required. And you can import data from other sources as required. So it's very flexible, but hopefully should streamline your sales process. Please, if you use the tool, have any comments on it, then please add your comments or feedback into the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see other videos from free tools available in Excel, then please subscribe to this channel. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.